We know that the moon refers to our needs for security and safety. And we know that the air signs are the intellects of the zodiac, so we can surmise that a moon in the air signs finds a sense of safety in their ideas, in the ability to look at life with an objective eye. They're nurtured by knowing things and feel nourished by information. When a problem comes up, even if it is an internal one, they're likely to start first with books. Then they begin talking to others. But the literature allows them to see everything within a larger framework as a phenomenon of which they're only a small part. And that tends to reduce their anxiety. These are also the social moons. Gemini needs constant interaction. While Libra is most fond of romance, it likes all kinds of relationships. Aquarius focuses on groups and society at large. Now that we know something about what the air moons have in common, let's look at each one individually. The moon in Gemini is lively and has high verbal needs. They find safety and security through listening and talking with others. So one of the troubles that can arise with this placement is compulsive talking incessantly with no connection to the self or others. And this can often be traced back to a lack of affection and a childhood disdain of common emotions. Forget the raw energies like rage and grief. Usually the Gemini moon's parents praised their smarts and their wittiness and their fluency in favor of having to talk about emotion. This placement has a natural restlessness and an interest in variety when it comes to lovers, topics of interest, types of jobs, everything. This moon has winged feet. It likes to flit around. So the daily grind doesn't make any sense to it. Doing the same thing in the same job for 20 years, no thank you. Where's the play in that? And this moon does need to play. It needs to be frivolous and fun. That's a part of what their need for variety is all about. Variety means they won't be bored, because being bored is the kiss of death. Variety, therefore, keeps them safe and alive. A moon in this placement reflects a person who tends to react verbally to whatever transpires. Don't expect gushing emotions and them crying with you because they understand tears. The air element pats you on the shoulder and says, "Good luck with that, bye." However, it is important for this moon to have people nearby, and that means physically close, within the immediate environment, neighbors, relatives, co-workers. This moon is the one of the zodiac that most loves having siblings. Those relationships are often nurturing and contain a certain sensitivity. Other people are an important key for the security of this moon. The most appropriate thing to say about it is that it's fast. It perceives and processes and responds quickly. It's a tinkerer, a writer, a speaker, a teacher, a translator, a storyteller. The mind is where it's at for them. This moon easily can lose connection with the body and the emotional nature. That's when it's most likely to become erratic or a gossip. Staying in tune with the feeling nature is a must, because that has to be strong if they want to do what feeds them, and that is expanding their mental processes to the extreme. The moon in Libra tends to be good-natured and has a certain charm. There's also an enormous appreciation for aesthetics. But what they're really going for is harmony. That's when they're happiest. If their traits, for instance, are not in harmony with those of the people in the room, it is within the Libra Moon to shift and change the way they're projecting themselves to ease into the group. Libra Moons find that this isn't always necessary or worth the trouble, but it is a natural at this type of skill. It's drawn to public relations and politics. It's a chameleon, blending and changing and harmonizing to create a certain effect. There's no doubt the Libra Moon likes to be liked. Nothing bad comes from that. And they also have high standards for how people should treat each other. And at the bottom of that is a belief that all people are equal. Libra Moons are nice. Just because a Libra Moon is nodding doesn't mean they agree wholeheartedly, though. They may just be validating the fact that you're saying something. Or maybe they can see a part of your argument, but not all of it. The Libra Moon actually appears to like you more than they do, and they appear more committed than they are. They seem like deeper friends than they perceive themselves to be. See, this moon gives off an impression, and that impression may not match reality. One of the reasons they can achieve all this is because they're able to restrain their emotions. What they're thinking and feeling may well not be what they show. This moon can be very angry and you would never know it. It hates the idea of having ugly eruptions wherein people are crying and screaming and throwing things in symbolic acts of violence. Everyone being nice to each other makes them feel safe. Harmony makes them feel secure. So who can blame the scales in the moon for not expressing everything? This moon is afraid of its own dark side too, the rage and the fury and the jealousy. Instead, they give a smile. There's a quirk to the Libra moon that's interesting to watch. If they enter a situation that isn't real, where people are being sickly sweet to each other, and it's obviously phony, it will begin to balance out that environment by being abrasive or even rude so that the scales are put in motion again. And it's really an exercise in balance. The harmony in this moon's relationships has to be real in order for them to be honest and express feelings freely without being mocked, condemned, or shamed. Some Libra moons begin to believe that they won't ever find that level of openness anywhere, and they start with the whatever you want is good, I don't want to argue variety of statements. Another quirk that's actually very common is the Libra moon who goes in and unconsciously disrupts the peace so that they can be the one to restore the peace and smooth down the feathers. You see, there's a little more to this moon than its sweet demeanor would suggest. There's no doubt that its aim is balance. It's deeply nourished by beauty and tuned into social skills. They like to be modern and on the right side of progressive social issues. This is an intellectual moon that puts thinking over feeling because it's more refined and more evolved. As you can tell, it's idealistic about interacting, about love, and about relating. If you want to give a Libra moon a compliment that will make them feel nurtured, recognize them for their diplomacy in social situations. The moon in Aquarius is comforted and nurtured by friendships. They have a general interest in brotherly love, and they focus on the big social problems facing the earth. They think on a wide scale, on the kinds of things that we could all accomplish if the entirety of humanity participated. Far-reaching issues have more to do with the mind than the heart, and that's okay, because this moon would rather think than feel. Now, because it doesn't recoil emotionally, it has a high threshold for weirdness. It takes something really shocking to throw them. This moon isn't afraid, and it doesn't back away from new ideas or new people who may have new ideas to add to the idea pool. The moon in Aquarius finds a lot of safety in theorizing and having hypotheses, so don't expect lovey-dovey from them, but they will fight for equity. They're clear that some people have advantages and some are downtrodden, and the world is crying out for some attention. Thinking of everyone means you can stand back and not get emotionally entangled. That's one of the reasons they love the future. It hasn't hurt anyone yet, and it's in that far-off world where ideals can thrive. Someone with a panoramic mind needs personal freedom, and this moon is ruggedly individualistic. They can't quite seem to conform. They feel safe if the rules are few and far between, because that's where innovation and invention are born. This moon likes to electrify people, bring new energy, disrupt the peace. It's an armchair social scientist, gathering information on others, who they are, where they live, what they want, because that helps them understand the human species a little bit better. But they also love to get down into pet projects and causes. As long as we're all here, let's talk about the dolphins getting caught in those tuna nets. They also tend to have radical ideas that are pretty extreme. If you get close to an Aquarius moon and listen long enough, they'll start sharing the shocking ways in which ills could be cured if people really had the guts. They can do this precisely because their emotions are detached, just like all the air moons. So it's not as though the Aquarius moon doesn't have emotions. It does. It just doesn't feel them. And when they go into therapy to talk about a few things, they tend to do the same thing the Aquarius sun does. They go up to the point of breakdown and catharsis, but not quite over the edge. They come out well informed about their dysfunction, but not fundamentally changed. And this seems to be the biggest problem with the airy moons. They don't like emotion enough to dig into it enough to learn its power. Thank you for watching Secrets from an Astrologer's Desk, the Air Moons. I'm Joy. More videos to come. If you enjoyed this video, consider donating $2 to Swan Family Charity. This organization gets medical care to poverty-stricken orphans in Afghanistan. The site, swanfamilycharity.org.